So I'm going on a trip coming up here soon and I'm really excited. Wanted to show you guys what I'm packing in my top bag and kind of what I put together when I'm going on a couple-day trip. This trip is only a couple of days, so not a big deal. Just have to pack a few essentials. Done some longer trips where we're away for 5-6 days, and those I do pack a little bit more. The biggest mistake that I've made before when packing for these trips is I take way too much stuff. So I really like to cut down on my storage space because it makes me take only the essentials. My last trip I took like my iPad, my laptop, all this stuff to do video editing while I was gone. When you're on a long trip and you're on the road all day, unless you're on a super long trip like a couple of weeks, I really don't want to be putting out content. I just want to be enjoying the ride, make some content, and then do it later. So let's get into what I am packing on my next trip that's coming up. I'm only going to be gone for a couple of days, so let's jump straight in and I'll show you. I will tell you what I am riding first. Right now we're kind of in between seasons. In the mornings and in the evenings it gets pretty cool. I am going riding up in the mountains, so I want to be ready for that. I am taking a pair of Dainese riding jeans. They've got some light knee protection in there, and really like these pants. So these are what I will be riding during the day. They are darker denim, so could be a little bit hot for me, but I'm gonna try these out, and if they don't work, I do have another pair of riding pants in here, but that's what I'm gonna start off in. They're a little bit warmer for the morning when it's a little bit cool. I will be riding these boots. I really like these boots. These are made by Keen, super light, and they're really airy, but they're waterproof. So I really like these. They come up a little bit higher on the ankle. I always try and ride in something that at least comes up on my ankles. These don't have any built-in armor, but they're nice hiking boots. I can get off the bike and go hiking if I want. I just have a lot of freedom with these particular shoes. Some people might argue that they don't have enough protection, but I've, coming from a guy that used to ride bikes in tennis shoes, so, and that was horrible. I can't believe I ever did that. I used to ride without gloves as well. Don't do that anymore. I don't recommend that. But these are Keens. They're super light. They're really easy. I love shifting in them. I can feel my shifter. A lot of people don't talk about that. I love boots that I can really feel myself shifting on. Whereas when I ride something like these, I can't really feel my shifter as much, and I do like these. These are great when it's rainy season here in Portugal. These give me a ton of protection in the rain, so really like those. But in the summer, these actually give me a ton of ventilation as well as being waterproof. So if I get that hot summer rain, I still have something that's arid, that's gonna dry quickly, but it's giving me that waterproof protection, and these things are super light, great for hiking. So I always take these with me on every motorcycle trip. While we're on the subject of shoes, I do take a light pair of running shoes with me. These are they're Nike Fly Knits, I think they are, and something like that. And basically they pack down super light. Like you can see, they can just crush down into nothing basically. And so I like these because I can just shove them in my bag wherever, and they'll just kind of, figure it out. If they get bent or whatever, oh, a rock just fell out. If they get bent or whatever, it doesn't harm the shoes. Like they're good to go, and they dry quickly. That's my biggest thing when I'm on these trips. I want something, I'm sweating into this stuff, I'm getting wet in this stuff, so I want something that's gonna dry quickly. All right, so let's get into my top bag. This is the Wild Heart. It's just a cheap bag I got off Amazon. This is a 40-liter bag, but I really, really like it. I think they've done a great job with it. It comes with some great straps and everything. All right, so just take off, of course, you wanna keep the things in the top that you're going to use the most, because you wanna be able to have access to it. That's why I love roll tops, is you can just open them up. They kind of act like a top case when you're on a trip. You can grab whatever you need. Everything's pretty accessible, wide opening. I've got my iPad here, and I've got an external hard drive because I do take a lot of videos during the day, and I want to be able to offload those in the evening, so I can use that on the iPad, download the videos, put them all there. All right, so like I said, we are a little bit in between seasons here in Portugal. As I'm going up through the mountains as well, we're gonna rise in elevation. We're gonna hit actually some of the tallest peaks in Portugal while we're out there. And so I do always kind of take a few extra layers, even though it is getting hot. Today, I think we're reaching over 30 degrees Celsius. That's, in the 80s. Just taking a light sweater so I can layer up if I need to, because I don't want to take all my layers for my motorcycle gear. So I'm just going to take a light sweater just to give me a little bit of extra protection if I need it. Of course, you've got your toiletries here. Another thing that I love to take, especially when you're doing a bit of off-road, is I take a bit of eye drops. I don't wear contacts, but I love eye drops because sometimes when you're out there on the road, you're riding like this, sometimes you ride with your visor up and you get crap in your eyes. It's just really nice. I know that's a creature comfort that kind of not super adventure-y, but it's something that really helps when you're on these longer trips. I also take Advil or Tylenol, whatever your drug of choice is for the trip, because I do like to have that extra, got some beard balm in there as well for my beard, keep it nice. So I do like to take that stuff just because it really helps make it more comfortable. If you're going on a long trip, we are doing about, I think we're gonna end up doing about 6 or 7 hours of riding in the first day, and then about the same on the second day. So gonna be a lot of riding. You wanna make sure that you have something to protect you. I do also pack some sunscreen for my face because my visor is clear and oftentimes I'll get sunburnt, so pack some sunscreen for you as well. Here's another case for my GoPro stuff. I can't show you my GoPro because I'm filming with it, but here's the GoPro case. That's where I keep all my mounts and things like that. On my helmet, I do have my trusty, this is not the helmet I'm taking my Arai XD4, but it also has one of these chin mounts on there. It's got the new low profile one, but that's always trusty as well. Super quick dry t-shirt, just something really airy. I can throw it on under my jacket if it's a hot day. I am riding with my Dainese airbag vest, and that thing is not as porous as they would allow you to believe. I normally go ahead and pack a really, really light, really comfortable t-shirt that stays dry. It wicks away sweat, and it's also super easy underneath. It doesn't feel like you're wearing hardly anything. This is a HarKila shirt. They make some great gear. Love HarKila. I don't even know if they ship to the United States, but they're here in Europe. Really like their gear. I'll show you, I've got a pair of HarKila pants in here somewhere as well. I am taking my rain liners for my gear just in case I do start getting rain on me. I always ride with a pair of summer gloves. It's not these gloves, these are these are Sedici gloves, but I'm not riding these. These are just an example. I've got 2 pairs of Revit gloves I will be taking with me. You know, just in case it rains, I've got a pair of waterproof gloves, and then I've got a pair of just summer riding gloves that are amazing, that I absolutely love. So always take a second pair of gloves with you. That's really important. If something happens, you wanna make sure that your hands are always protected. I do take a nice pair of light shorts with me now that it's summer. These are Oakley's. Love these shorts, and these are the most comfortable shorts ever. They're super light, easy to pack, they're thin, they don't weigh a lot, and they're also great if I decide to take a dip somewhere. We are going to be riding in the mountains where there's lots of waterfalls. We might decide to jump in the water, take a quick dip. These will dry very fast. What I've done before is, if I do take a dip, basically rock straps that go over this, and so I will just kind of loop this, or if you've got one of those mesh nets that you put over your top case or over one of these, you can just put that over it, and this will dry in the wind while you're riding. Super effective, really like that. Just make sure you strap it down nice and tight. So that's really important. Some quick drying shorts. I've got another pair of shorts just for in the evenings so I can hang out in the hotel room. We are staying in hotels this time. No camping. We're just going for a quick trip, couple of days. We don't even know what hotels we're staying in. We just know that there are hotels at certain points, and then we'll book them on the night when we get there. Okay, this is important. These are my actual Revit Riding Pants. So if it does start raining, or I decide that these jeans are not enough for whatever reason, these have got full armor in them, I will rock these if I need to, and they are a little bit lighter, so in the heat and in the sun, they're really great. I could wear a pair of light pants underneath them, because if I just wear nothing underneath these, I find that my knees get rubbed a little bit raw. Don't like that. As I go into the pants, I always take a pair of really light, really thin pants. These are amazing. These are also HarKila's. They're super light. They dry really fast, and these things are just awesome. Very thin. You can see the HarKila shirt and the HarKila pants right there together. Super thin, great to pack if you're going light on a trip. You can really just shove those down in a bag. This one actually has some bug protection built in, so really like that. And these are great too if I want to wear something light, but I want to have as much airflow as possible. I'll put on these pants underneath these Revit pants, and I just get a ton of airflow. It's super light. I'm comfortable underneath these, and then at the end of the day, I can just wash these in the sink at the hotel, and they dry super fast. Of course, I am packing tools. I'm not going to go through all the tools that I'm packing, but you know, you've got a puncture kit. I basically take a ratchet set with me that covers everything. I make sure that I've got heads for all the attachments that I've put on there, my quad lock stuff, windshield, my touring windshield, my crash guards, everything. You know, if I need to change a tire, I'm going to probably be calling my AAA service to have them do that, or tow the bike or whatever. I'm just not going to deal with that on the road. Can, but I'm not doing that on this trip, so we're not going hardcore camping or anything. When it comes to pants, I really do love these super thin style pants, especially in the summer, guys. They're even great for hiking if you take them out of your bag, even if you're not wearing these. If you do decide to go hiking or anything like that, it's great to have something you can throw on super easily off the back of your bike, and it feels super light when you're walking walking. Of course, when you're doing a ton of riding, you want to make sure that you're not overly exhausted when you do go hiking or anything like that. Sometimes I do take a fly rod with me if I'm going to do some fishing. Outside of hand sanitizer, always a great thing to carry with you. Do have to use the bathroom or something like that, or you get dirty, or you cut yourself or whatever. It's great to have some of that around, and that leads me into a first aid kit. If you guys are going anywhere, you can get really small first aid kits. You can even kind of build your own first aid kit. Just take some Band-Aids, some stuff to treat a wound or anything like that, just in case you're out in the middle of nowhere and you need to dress a wound. I think that stuff is really, really helpful. Another thing as well, I always take a pair of sunglasses with me that I comfortably can wear underneath my helmet, because I want to make sure that my eyes don't get too tired or the glare from the sun is messing with me. Where I'm going, I'm staying in Portugal. I'm staying on some really main roads, so I'm not too worried about getting left out in the lurch or being out too far. Some of the mountainous roads we will be kind of out there, so I'm going to take some stuff to be prepared for that. You know, you really have to know what kind of terrain you're riding, because that's really going to depend on what you're packing in your rucksack, whatever you want to call it. Because if you're going to be super remote, you might want to look at packing some more serious first aid kits than just some Band-Aids and stuff to clean wounds. You might want something a little bit heavier. Going off of that, you know, there are some great SOS systems out there if you don't have it on your bike that you can get to actually put on your jacket or on your person, so that if you do get in a situation where you're solo riding and you need some help, you can press that and get the help that you need. My wife, I always make sure that before I go on a big trip, it always sets my wife at ease if she's got my location on my phone, so she can always see where I'm at, she can always see what I'm doing. Basically, you know, I do check in with her on occasion. Another great feature of the REVER app is you can actually add people and contacts to share your ride and your location, and you can also send custom messages. The app will automatically send messages when you head out for a ride and when you've arrived at your location. That's a really nice feature because you can focus on your adventure, you can focus on having fun. It is a very cool feature that you can have on if your spouse does want something like that. Put her mind at ease. I find that the more at ease I can put my wife, the longer I can stay away from home and have a little side adventure. So that's really, really cool. So yes, you also want to take multiple pairs of socks. I always normally take 25% more than what I think I'm going to need. So if I'm going away for 3 days, I'm going to take maybe 5 pairs of socks or something like that, just because I want to make sure that I've, I don't even know if I got my percentages right there, but I'm going to take at least 5 pairs of socks, just because, you get sweat in there from the day. Maybe you go for a swim, maybe it starts raining. You just always want to make sure you have plenty dry socks, underwear. That's really, really important that you have that stuff on you. A few final things that I think are really important. Like I said, if I do want to take a dip or I do want to go somewhere, quick dry towel is amazing because they normally pack very, very small, and again, like the name, they quick dry. Gets about that big, so I can dry off my whole body with this thing, and it's really, really nice just to be able to have something. You can even get full-size ones. And last but not least, make sure you're taking a lot of cables with you, and with a lot of cables, you need power. I like to take a decent-sized battery pack with me, especially when I'm doing a lot of recording with the GoPro. It's nice to have something that I can charge the GoPro cameras with while I'm on the bike. So I always like to take one of these portable battery packs, and with that you need at least a wall charger and a cable to charge this in the evenings. So you're going to need cables for your phone, cables for camera equipment, cables to charge this. For me, with my airbag vest, I have to bring cables for that. Also, I have cables for my Sena, my communication set. If I have cables basically that I'm going to take for my phone, I make sure I've got a cable I don't really care too much about but works really good. It's not too long, it's not too short, and I use that for charging my phone in the USB port on the bike. I also have a longer cable so that if I'm riding and I want to charge my airbag vest while I'm riding, I can do that. I've got a longer cable that will do that. I also have a longer cable that'll reach from my USB port up to my Sena. So I can pretty much charge everything that I want and still ride. I don't have to worry about anything dying on me. I can charge it as I go. I bring several batteries for my camera so I can charge the dead batteries in the back while I have my camera going with another battery, and I can charge those batteries on this. Basically gives me the option to be able to completely charge all of my gear, constantly keep it charged and keep riding. I never have to worry about stopping riding or stopping recording because I'm always gonna have a fresh battery. If you stop to do lunch or whatever, throw that GoPro on a battery charger while you're in there having lunch, and that way when you come out, you've got everything nice. One tip I will tell you, if you are gonna take a laptop or an iPad with you, I try not to put it right up against the outer material of the bag. These things do get hot sitting out in the sun. Most of the restaurants here in Portugal, you have outdoor seating, or the restaurants are very small, so you can pretty much see your bikes wherever and you can park right out front. If for whatever reason I have to park a little ways away, what I'll do is, you can take this off and take it into the shop with you, or just trust it's gonna be safe. It's up to you. So basically what I'll do is I'll keep this towards the top of my pack, but I will kind of sandwich it in between a couple layers of clothes, you know, something like that, and stick it in there just so that it's not getting direct heat from the sun on it. I don't know if that actually does anything. Makes me feel a lot better. That's what I would do, guys. There's a couple of tips to help get you going on your first adventure motorcycle trip, or one of many. And if you guys have any comments or any things that you say you would pack differently, throw that down in the comments. Would love to see some other things that you guys are packing, because as I continue to hone in on my adventure skills, I would also love to know what you guys are packing in your adventure kits for longer trips if you're doing those. I know there's an assortment of different things you can pack, different brands. You know, for me, the HarKila is a really nice brand of thin pants. They're a little bit more expensive. I know Columbia makes a great pair of thinner pants. I've tried those. For some reason, often they run a little bit short on me, or they're a little too baggy. So that's why I went for the HarKilas. They're a little bit more of an athletic fit. So I do like those. Yeah, so if you guys do have some other things that you pack in your packs, throw it down in the comments. Would love to see that. Would love to read about those and see what you guys are throwing in your pack. Quick note for you guys, if you are traveling, make sure that you take any documents that you need. If you are going into different countries, you might need your visa or passport. I know most of you guys that are traveling in America, you probably won't need that, but you know, travel with your IDs. Also make sure that if you are traveling, you have copies of your insurance. A lot of nowadays you can put that on your phone. Just make sure that if your phone is not charged, that you have maybe a paper copy with you, because if you do get pulled over, it's nice to have that with you. You don't want to not be able to show that you have insurance. And it's also great that you have those numbers handy if your phone does die. If you have a paper copy of your insurance, most of the time you have the numbers on there, so even if your buddy's with you, he can call your insurance and get a tow truck for you or whatever's going on. And make sure you have any of your motorcycle documents. Here in Portugal, I've got to travel with a few of my documents, just so that if I do get pulled over, I can prove a couple different things for the bike. So I do have to travel with a document or two. No big deal. I make sure that's always in my bike. It will go in here for the trip, and then if I need it, it'll be easily accessible. The thing that I think is really important is staying hydrated when you're on these trips. This is a little Camelback that I got. You know, this isn't Camelback brand, but this is basically a Camelback. You can wear it on your back. This is a backpack version. You can wear it on your back if you want. You know, loop this through your jacket, and then whenever you want, you just kind of feed this up into your helmet, and you can drink it there. I did find it was a little bit difficult to get this in my helmet when I was riding, and I don't really like too much fuss when I'm riding my motorcycle, so I normally don't drink from this while I'm riding. You can do it, you know, it's just kind of an extra hassle, so I don't mess with that. Some people, if you do have a tank bag, is what they'll do is they will put this inside their tank bag. You can just zip it up just enough to where you've got this hanging out, and then you can just reach forward, grab it, get you some water, stay hydrated if you're going on those long rides, and then you don't have to be getting in and out of your bags to try and drink some water. You don't have to pull over. That's really nice. Even if you don't want to do it while you're riding like me, you can always just stop your bike, lean forward, grab this, and you know, drink a little bit of water, put it back down, you're good to go, and then you don't have to get on and off the bike, you don't have to unpack gear. It's super easy. So I will be rocking this on this upcoming trip. I won't be taking the tank bag. Yeah, I'm not gonna be taking the tank bag just because I haven't tested that yet. I'm gonna test it later, but I don't wanna take any gear that I haven't tested yet. Make sure that you're not packing too much stuff. Of course, that's always the problem with us adventure riders, is we're always going on an adventure, and we finally have the chance to use some of our new gear. Yes, using our new gear. You get out there and you probably aren't gonna use 90% of the stuff that you pack. I'm barely gonna use my iPad. You know, I'll stop at the end of the day and download some footage, but that is it. You know, nothing serious there. Of course, if you do pack electronics, make sure, I always like to pack any waters or any liquid like that. I try to pack that in a separate bag from that. I do have some side pannier cases that I might put a couple things in, but it's gonna be more like toolkits and things like that. This is a 40-liter bag. I also have a 50-liter bag. I don't rock that very much because I can fit everything I really need in a 40-liter bag. If I'm taking more than that, I have to be going on a really big trip. You know, 2-day trips, 1-night trips, 4-day trips, whatever that looks like, 1-week trips. Throw it down in the comments. If you do put it in there, just say what you like to pack and how long you would take that on a trip for. There are completely different things I would take if I'm going on a trip that's much longer than 4 or 5 nights. So I would completely probably change a lot of these components would still be in my pack, but they would greatly change and vary between brand and quality of things that I'm taking. So, and of course, winter to summer greatly changes all of that too. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Hopefully this helps you on your next adventure. This is American Abroad. Ride safe, and we will see you on the pavement.